Hello and welcome back to Whimsy. Today we are going to make this Friends Like You Mean More Every Year card. And the main component of this card is the Positive Thoughts stamp set. And I have also used the Ornate Floral 3D embossing folder to do the background. So I've used shaded spruce for the flowers, and I've used Cajun Craze for the card base, for the embossed card front, and for the inked up mat. And I have used Rich Razzleberry to do the butterfly. So the stamps that I used out of the set are the flower, the butterfly, and the greeting. And I used the dies as well, the dies that come with the Positive Thoughts set. That's what they look like. I've used the outlined frame. It's got like a little kind of wavy line of dots around the inside that's really quite nice. And then, of course, this flower die and the butterfly. So I've really built most of the components because I wanted to show you how I did the background. Now this ends up very wet. So I've pre-done one, but I'll show you how I did it in for the card. I'll just move everything off to the side, and I used the stitch rectangle die to cut out the greeting. So you're going to need, I used a piece of the thick cardstock just so that it had a little bit more body to it. And with this one, what I did is I took my Cajun Craze ink pad and I inked the block up, and then I used my water spritzer and I spritzed it with water, and then I pressed it down on the paper. And this is the effect you get. So I thought maybe in the video today, I'd try kind of stamping it away. So removing some of the color and then spritzing it and see what happens. So we'll try that. If it doesn't work, then we know we need to go full value. So I'm just dipping this in the ink pad, inking up the whole block. And you can see the color coming on the block. Just inking the whole thing up, making sure that you've got all of it inked up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to stamp it off. So it's taken some of the color off. And then I'm going to take my spritzer and just spritz some water on there. And of course, the more water you put on, the wetter it's going to be. I just kind of let it run a little bit, and then I put it down on my piece of paper, and you can see it blending when you do that. So there's one, and we'll see how that one turns out. That's with inking it off once, and that's the full value of the ink. So if you need to do more, like this is just slightly larger than what is on here. So we're going to try inking it up one more time, but I'm going to wipe this off before I ink it up again because I don't want to get my ink pad too wet. So we're just going to, I just use a wet wipe or baby wipe, whatever you want to call them. Okay, and then I'm just going to grab a tissue and dry it off. So I'm just drying that off. Okay, so let's ink it up again. And we'll keep just inking it up. There we go. So that's inked up. I'm just going to ink it off again and hit it with the spritzer. And then just let it run around a little bit. And I'm going to press this down onto the paper again. And there we go. It comes up different each time. Kind of like doing the watercolor flowers that I did on a previous video. Each time is ever so slightly different. and you just keep working with it to get the effect that you want and carry on. So that's how I've done that. But like I say, it's really wet, so you need to let it dry. This one's really good because you do this step first and let it dry. And while it's drying, you can cut out all your pieces. You can stamp and cut all of your pieces out. But because I already have one cut out, I'm just going to build the card. I'm just going to close my ink pad. And again, I've used the Cajun Craze cardstock and a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 in the Cajun Craze, and then run it through the Stamp and Cut and Emboss with the Ornate Floral 3D folder. So I'm just going to put some adhesive, some Stamp and Seal on the back of this card. And then just attach it here. I'm just going to knock that up out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. Just going to center this and drop it down. And then what I did is I used dimensionals on this piece to put it down, and I centered it here. So I will grab my dimensionals and just attach them to the back and keep going. So yeah, I thought I would do a few more kind of different technique videos. Usually I just build cards and there's not always a specific technique involved, but I thought I would start doing just a few more techniques as I see them. And we'll just put that down like that. So then we just place these around as we want. I need dimensionals on this. I put the greeting on first. And I offset the greeting just so there's room, lots of room for the flowers around it as well. And you can do this in any colorway you want. If you wanted to do these in, say, Poppy Parade and Flirty Flamingo and some Mango Melody, just to really brighten it up, you absolutely could. So I'm just going to put this down like this. And then I've already put dimensionals on the back of the flowers, so I can just start putting them in. And I've overlapped them so that the petals kind of frame the letters a little bit. And I just keep putting them on, finding the best way that I like them to go on, just so that we're not overlapping the edge of the card. There we go. You can overlap the edge of the mat, but maybe not the edge of the card itself. So then I just kept building into the corners and then all around the base. And you just offset them a little bit just so it's a little bit random, so it's not all kind of the same. And then we literally just add the pieces and put that over top. And then I just put the butterfly in the middle. I thought it needed a little bit something, so I just popped the butterfly on like that. So that is how you make the Friends Like You Mean More Every Year card, using the, I don't know what the technique is called, but it's kind of the watercolor block technique. And you can see you get different kind of versions depending on how wet you make the block, how much ink is on the block. But then you would just, once it's dry, you just run it through, cut it out with your die, and build your card. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed learning about this technique. If there are any products in this video that you would like to purchase, please use the links below in the description. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time.